Are you a caregiver or a person with health issues who watches everybody else go on with their life while you're feeling that your life is limited by caring for elderly parents, a spouse, loved ones, or if you have health problems, your life is limited by the health conditions or physical disabilities that you have? This week, caregivers are talking about how any free time they used to have, weekends and holidays, seem to be absorbed with watching everybody else go on with their life while caregivers and the people with health problems are missing out on life. So stay with me while I share some examples that can lead to feeling like you are missing out on life. I'll share 4 tips to identify limitations that might add to stress levels about feeling like you're missing out on life, and steps that you can take to start living instead of missing out. So I'm going to begin with situations that you might find yourself in today to kind of set the stage to help you consider that there are options out there and there are so many possibilities. Now, if you're a caregiver, you have a lot to do. I know that you're dealing with family members who may not help or loved ones who need care and may not always be in the best mood. And you're responsible for all of their daily activities and tasks. And in the middle of all this, you're trying to maintain a positive outlook, which can really be difficult if you're struggling. On the other hand, if you are that person with health concerns, honestly, some days just getting out of bed and staying motivated to take care of yourself can be challenging because you are a caregiver for yourself. There's no secret. There's no magic. Caregiving is hard work, and it can feel like a very heavy emotional burden when you're trying to do it all yourself. All those people on the outside, by the way, who are not caregivers, tell you that caregiving is your duty. It's a responsibility. It's an honor. You should take care of yourself better. And you shouldn't complain. Well, they have no idea what your day-to-day emotional and physical reality is, the stress that you experience, your health levels. And so having people around you who understand and can motivate you is very, very important. If this is your first time here on my channel, I'm Pamela D. Wilson. I'm a caregiving expert, advocate, and speaker with almost 25 years of professional and personal experience helping older adults and caregivers. Please do click below, click the like button, click the button to follow my channel, and please comment, even if it's only to say thank you. Your comments and your participation help other people find their way here, find their way to my channel. There's also a lot of hope, help, and support on my website, PamelaDWilson.com. Plenty of links below. So let me share some examples of challenges that caregivers experience. And as always, there are 2 sides to every story, plus all these complications in the middle that make every situation different. There are amazing and lovely family relationships where everybody's contributing to the care of loved ones. Situations where there's more than enough money to pay for medical care and daily living expenses and some nice things, right? These families with money and good family relationships may worry less or have fewer disagreements. Now, in other families where relationships are strained, where there's a lot of conflict and drama and craziness, plus worry about how to pay a monthly mortgage or rent or buy groceries, pay for prescription, pay for co-pays. With the rising costs of healthcare, honestly, many people are concerned about going to the doctor when you may have a $25 or a $50 or a $70 copay. That can be a lot of money. And so what happens is, in many circumstances, people with health problems, caregivers, are not going to the doctor, or they're delaying medical care because they can't afford it. The costs are too high. Or people are worried about taking time off work to see a doctor. Paying for necessities, again, like food, electricity, or transportation, that takes priority over going to see a doctor, even when somebody may not feel their best. So what happens is family caregivers who don't have time neglect their health. And eventually, they have more health problems, or can have more health problems, than the people that they care for. How logical is that? The truth is that people who are struggling to just meet their basic needs, who operate at super, super high levels of daily stress, those people may not even realize that they're missing out on anything because they are so tunnel vision. They're so focused on, how am I going to survive this day, this week? How do I bring groceries home tonight for dinner? These people have a daily routine that's just what they do. And it affects them very much from a mental and a physical health perspective. So for caregivers and people who are kind of in the middle of all this, so you're not at the end where you're struggling day to day, and you're certainly not at the end where there's plenty of money to pay for everything. There's other challenges, right? There are the challenges of having your siblings help out, or if your parents, spouses, or your children helping out. Can your children help out? And the honest truth is, we are all just trying to do the best we can. And the definition of doing one's best can relate to how we look at that. So it can relate to past circumstances, which can have us feel like today we're missing out. And let's use a past circumstance of, wow, I had a really good job, right? So maybe a caregiver quits a full-time job to work part-time, or they totally quit their job, and they look back and they're thinking, oh my gosh, I loved that job. I loved the people that I worked with. I felt good. I felt like I was contributing. I was making money. I could have been promoted. I could have had a raise. And so I'm kind of missing out and grieving that life that I could have had, that I gave up to be a caregiver. And so even though changing aspects of work might seem like the right thing to do at the time, it doesn't mean that caregivers don't have regrets about that, right? What could have been for a future job or a career or money that could have contributed to the caregiver's retirement? Similarly, a spouse who retires early to care for a sick spouse can miss all of these things too. The loss of work relationships. Maybe their job contributed a lot to their identity, and so now a spouse feels a loss of self-esteem. Who am I these days? I'm just a caregiver, right? Well, there's no just a caregiver. But so giving up job, reducing hours, limits income, medical expenses can go up. And for spouses, there can be this loss of a romantic relationship if your spouse has a lot of health problems that you're dealing with. So caregivers who try to do their best and feel like they're missing out can become very self-critical and lose a lot of self-compassion and self-patience, especially if they feel criticized or judged by other people in the family or the person that they care for. So what happens? Low self-esteem in the toilet, low compassion. Caregivers become isolated. They become lonely because they can't leave the house like they used to go to work or to go socialize or go work out or go see a movie. And so the question to really ask is, if you are in this situation, or if you are headed toward this situation, how do you avoid it? How do you stop missing out? Well, the first very basic action is to realize that you have losses. You feel like you're missing out. You feel like your life is limited. So a loss and a limitation can be a health problem that worsens for people who have health problems, meaning that, maybe you can no longer go out and do 18 holes of golf, right? Because you have a foot problem. A loss might be that caregiver who has changed aspects of their job. Or it could be for adult children who are caring for parents, maybe you coached your child's football team or soccer team or baseball team. And now you have to give that up, time with your child, time in socialization, because caring for an aging parent has taken over that time slot. These are a lot of losses and a lot of limitations. So limited time, limited physical or mental abilities if you have health problems can result in feelings like you're missing out on life. That life that you once had is poof, up in smoke, it's gone. So here's a trap that caregivers and people with health problems can fall into is we think that one loss leads to the next loss and the next loss and the next loss. And so up here, our minds think, oh, loss, what am I missing out on? My life is not the same. And so what then happens is that your mental focus or your mindset is focused on, how do I avoid this loss? How do I avoid this? Instead of focusing on, well, what other options do I have? Are there opportunities out there? Are there gains out there that I'm just not seeing because I'm stuck behind this wall of all of these losses? And especially in these situations, caregivers who lack self-compassion for themselves, you may be really hard on yourself, harder than necessary. And then what do? You start talking to yourself. I'm no good. Can't do anything right. I'll never get another job. I can't make new friends. I can't leave the house. I can't. That is not the solution to how to turn missing around out. Then let's add criticism from family who don't understand or family who won't help. Caregivers and people with health problems who limit contact with people, family members, friends, whoever, for fear of criticism, or maybe you have problems that you don't want to share and you feel like if you're with them and they ask how you are, you're going to tell them how you are and then it's going to go downhill, right? You have to have other things to talk about besides your problems, okay? So in the bigger picture of life, we all have limits. We all have problems. I have them. You have them. It's something that we all deal with every day. Now, the other part of limitations is the fact that as a caregiver, as a person with health issues, you have the ability to set limits, which means having personal boundaries. For caregivers, this means feeling comfortable to say, no, I can't do that. No, I'm not taking on more responsibility. No, I can't give you more time. I don't have it to give. And for people with health problems, it can mean setting boundaries with yourself that are kind of reverse boundaries. So, for example, I will exercise today for 30 minutes. I will eat healthy. I will do this so that I can enjoy life. So it's almost like you have to do the work so you can do things, right? So you exercise to have physical strength so you can go out and play 18 holes of golf, or you can go hike for 3 miles. It's this preparation work that you have to do if you have health problems to do what you love. So let's look at opportunities that exist out there that you may not see that make you feel like you're missing out on life. So the most important thing beyond saying, okay, I realize I have losses and I have limitations, is to figure out, who are you? What do you want from life? Caregivers often say, I don't have time to think about that. I'm too busy. Well, if you're too busy, you're going to stay in a point where you're watching everybody else live your life, and 5, 10, 15 years is going to go by and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, why didn't I get married? Why didn't I make friends? Why didn't I save money? A lot of caregivers say to me, I don't know who I am anymore. I've lost my identity. I'm not a husband anymore. I'm not a wife. I don't have a job. I used to be a photographer in my free time. I used to do crafts. Now, I don't do any of that. I'm just like a blank piece of paper. Well, you have to create something. So how do you do that? One way is to get a notebook, get paper, right? Get paper and start writing down what you want your life to look like, who you want to be. And how you can start getting there. You have to start thinking about it up here, right, to make it happen, either on paper or in your life. There is this saying that you may have heard, which is as above, so below. And it's from a document called the Emerald Tablet. I'll put a link below if you're interested. And it can be interpreted in so many ways. There's no one single interpretation of as above, so below. It can mean that thought, energy, and matter are connected, that your thoughts create your reality. It also poses the question, are you opportunity focused? Are you open door focused? Are you willing to go through that door to see what's on the other side? Or are you avoidant? You see the door and you are not going through because you know what? There's bad stuff on the other side. You have a choice about how you think. So if you believe that your thoughts can create inner happiness and joy and your reality and progress, then on paper, how might you change your thinking and your actions to bring more hope into your life, bring more joy into your life, bring friends into your life, and set aside those feelings of, I'm missing out on life. Another step to avoid feelings of missing out can be to spend time with a good friend who knows you, or join a group of people. I have a caregiving group. It's on Facebook. It's called the Caregiving Trap. Join a group of people who are experiencing similar situations, but who lean toward the positive, like you can do this, you will do that. You need people who are going to lift you up, not drag you down. So you want to focus on positives. This commonality with kind people, with kindred spirits, can really inspire you to realize that, you know what, there are options out there. There are possibilities. I need to stop missing out. I need to kind of like move forward. Then all of a sudden, the world opens up and you have this huge perspective about everything. So one complication to getting here is time. And it's making time to think, who am I? What do I want my life to be like? How do I get there? How do I feel? So you need time to do this. And when caregivers are so focused on just getting through today and the next day and falling into bed at night because you're so exhausted, when you're focused on survival, you might not have a lot of mental energy left. So you have to commit yourself to find the time to make the mental energy. And being around happy people can give you energy, right? So combine these thoughts of, how do I get there? Who can I spend time with that can inspire me? How do I lift myself up? How can I lift other people up? How can we all lift each other up? Because you want to put less focus on, I need to avoid this. I want to limit these losses. I want to stop judging all these situations and saying no. Because focusing on losses can just suck the joy and the hope out of your life. It's gone. Being a caregiver or a person dealing with health problems, not easy. You have a lot of stress. You may constantly think about all the things that went wrong. You may constantly think about trauma. And all of this, what does it do? Oh my gosh, it brings up strong, strong emotions. The ability to manage emotions can be self-limiting. It can create more feelings of loss and limitation and missing out. So learning to manage emotions and control emotions is very important. Anyone can limit their ability to enjoy life if they are highly emotional. You're up one day, down the next day, up, down, up, down. Or if you're highly opinionated, if you think that your way is the right way and everybody else needs to take the highway because they're wrong, that's going to limit your ability to enjoy life. It's going to limit the people who you want to spend time with, and honestly, the people who want to spend time with you. People with very strong emotional reactions experience a lot of distress and stress that interferes with their daily activities. Strong emotions can result in being mentally distracted. You can't focus. Your mind is here and here and here and here. And you got these 50 things to do and you're not getting anything done. And the day's done and you're like beating yourself up because it's like, what did I get done today? Well, you know what? All that happened was your mind spinned and spinned and spinned and spinned. And you got nothing done. And then on top of all this, you're having difficulty with your relationships with other people. Is it any wonder? Your emotions are up and down. They don't know who they're going to be talking to today. A nice person or an angry person or somebody who's going to be screaming at them, right? A lot of this causes problems. Caregivers, people with strong emotions. You might drive people out of your life instead of bringing people in, which is what you want. You want to bring people in if you want to have a more social life, a happier life. Caregivers also can drive people away through having extremely controlling or reactive behaviors. Nobody else is going to take care of your mom and dad like you do. Nobody else is going to take care of your spouse like you do. Well, if you're saying nobody else can do it, you're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy to say, I'm the only one can do it. If you're missing out on life, you can't be the only one doing it. You have to share. You have to collaborate. You have to find and bring other people in that can help you. Seeing life from this narrow viewpoint leaves no room for creating a life or creating relationships with people who think differently. Any type of bias or judgment based on your personal experience, and I'm not saying it's not valid, right? But similar results. The perfect friend, the perfect person that you want to meet may be like waiting for you, but you know what? They dress a little differently. Maybe their hair is not the right color. Maybe they have an appearance or a confidence level that you find intimidating, so you don't want to talk to them. Honestly, it's up to you. You've got to push your boundaries, push against your judgments of other people, your opinions of other people. You have to ask yourself, are you interested in opening doors to move ahead and walking through to see what's on the other side that could be absolutely amazing? Or are you a door slammer? No, I can't do that. No, you can't help. No, that will not work. You have to choose which side you want to be on. So, steps to create a path to stop feeling like you are missing out on life is to manage your emotions, give up a lot of judgment, and as you go through your day, your busy, crazy, amazing day, you're taking loved ones to doctor appointments, you're picking up prescriptions, you're making meals, you're helping loved ones bathe, taking out the trash, cleaning house, doing laundry, changing bedding, using a blood pressure machine to take blood pressure, helping with insulin, all the things that caregivers do. As you go through these motions every day, start thinking about yourself, who you are, what you value, what you want for your life. These thoughts are not selfish. They're necessary so that you can own your day. How many days, again, do you have that go by and you don't know what you did? Well, it's because you didn't own your day. You had no plan for what you wanted to do for yourself. Owning your day means doing something for yourself every day so that you can start eliminating the feeling of missing out on life because you're thinking about your options, your opportunities, you're having a bigger perspective, you're thinking, oh, I need to look into this. I always used to like to do crafts or photography or woodworking, or I used to write. How can I find a writing group? How can I find people? So you have to kind of find people inside and outside of the caregiving realm. Inside the caregiving realm because you have to deal with health problems and you need shortcuts and you need advice. Outside of the caregiving realm, because eventually you're going to have a life. You're not going to always be a caregiver, hopefully. And you need those people in your life too. So you need two paths. So you want to start replacing your thoughts of watching everybody else travel and do fun things and be envious of them by owning your life. Start planning. Start deciding how you will live your life. And I know you're going to say, Pamela, I don't have time. Got too many limitations. I can't do it. Well, what excuses are you making for not finding solutions or moving ahead with your life? What's the excuse? I'm too busy. I don't have enough time. Nobody else is going to do this. Well, find a way. Because if you really want to find a way, you will find a way. Ask yourself what you're afraid of. Are you afraid of failing? Are you afraid of other people judging your actions, judging you moving out of this primary caregiving role? Or are you unsure of how to go about this? If you are, saying help exists for people who want help. Angels, people will show up at the right time if you ask for them. I don't know what you believe in, God, spirits, nothing. It's like whoever you talk to, send me an angel, send me somebody to help, send me somebody to show the way. I have people to help me. Because if you start saying that, doors will start to open up. You'll see something here, you'll see something there. You'll be like, oh my gosh, that's a person that can help me. You have to believe that you can start living life. You have to create a plan with steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Must be curious enough to investigate options and opportunities with the help of people who might know more than you know right now. With the help of people who have done what you want to do, or people who have experienced what you are experiencing. That future, that life, that bright spot, it's waiting for you. It's just on the other side of the door. Are you willing to walk through? Or are you going to keep the door shut? It's up to you. Nobody can make that choice for you. Nobody can make that decision but you. I thank you all so much for being here. I'm Pamela D. Wilson. I am a caregiving expert, advocate, and speaker. Almost 25 years of experience. Again, please click below to like this video, follow my channel, and please comment, even if it's only to say thank you. You saying thank you might help another person and 10 people and 100 people find this channel. Again, you can also go below. My website is there, links to online programs, my support group, my podcast, my blog, a lot of helpful information. Thank you again for being here. I'll see you all again soon in another video.